A little over a week ago, we took a road trip, and on the way back put the top down, and then we went to put the top up, and the top got stuck. It would not come up. So I was able to drive it all the way back and did some research. Found out that the hydraulic cylinder, which is right here, you can see it leaking actually right now too, a little bit. That's what had been damaged and had to be either replaced or fixed. Called up a few shops. They told me it will not be cheap. I had a friend of mine that told me that he had that done for about $2,000. I figured I'd do some research and see what I can do myself. So I found out quickly that it can be taken out. Found a way to actually open the cylinder up and change out the O-ring. I found a local place in town that sold O-rings. They were 9 cents a piece. They had a $5 minimum. So I bought the closest size to the size that I thought I need. That's what's in there right now. And as you can see, it does leak. Now, it did work. It did pressurize. I am able to take the top up and down, but as you can see, there's a small leak, and obviously it leaks more when you operate the roof. So I found this company. They're called convertiblehydraulics.com, something like that. I'm going to go ahead and put that on as a link. They sell these O-rings that are the perfect size. Now, I did read some reviews. People say that this O-ring alone has fixed the entire issue for them and there's no leaks. They have this other product as well, which is the actual seal. It's very similar, or they say it's maybe even better than the original seal Mercedes uses. So I went ahead and got both of these in, and I'm gonna go ahead and install it, see how that goes. They also sell these syringe thing that you can refill the hydraulic pump with. To get into the cylinder, you obviously have to remove the covering here. You unscrew these 5 in the front, and the back is just clips. You can use a clip remover, just put it there and slowly pull on it, it will come out. In order to take this cylinder out, you're gonna have 3 of these screws here that you have to open up. Here's a little better angle of the screws that I was talking about in case you can't see them in the other shot. Here's 1, 2, and 3, and these are just fasteners. I'm probably gonna cut these off in a minute. These are actually just zip ties here. So you also have these 2 pins right here that you have to get out. There's one right here, one right here. These are some kind of I'd say they're called C-rings or something. They're just kind of a lock that hold these pins into place. All right, hopefully you guys can see this as I do it. There it is. And got it. So that's one. They are a little bit oily because it's obviously leaking still with the older O-rings that I tried out. So again, you just put a little flathead in there, pull back, comes right out, and there it is. And then you can push these out. See if you got a good shot of that. Okay, just kind of push those, comes up, you can grab them from the other end. So there's one longer that is on the right side, and this one, it fell right here. Try not to drop these between the seats. If you do happen to drop them between the seats and need to get them, this is a magnet. It's, you pull, it's like an antenna thing. I bought this from AutoZone for about $2. You can just put them in there and try to feel for it. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and just slide this cylinder out and release it from here. I've already drilled a hole here in order to get that C-ring that's inside that's holding all this together. To do that, I'm not recommending you guys do it. If you don't feel comfortable, you might want to just use Top Hydraulic or something. Send a unit in, they'll send you a refurbished one. There's another company that you actually have to cut these lines to a very accurate size that they tell you to, and from there they'll fix it, send the same one back to you, and they have couplers on there that you can put it back together. I personally wanted to rebuild it. I didn't have a problem with opening it and maybe breaking it, just because I really prefer not to have to undo this entire thing all the way to the pump or cut my lines. I figured I'd just go ahead and do it this way. So like I said, you basically have to cut a hole under it. The company I got this sealant from sends you details instructions on how to do that. Actually, you have to cut the hole, be careful not to go underneath this white stopper, because then you'll definitely have a leak, and I don't think you can stop it at that point. You'll cut a hole here in order to push up on the C-ring and pull it out with a hook. And it's out. There it is. Luckily it just kind of stays around, at least it has for me. It stayed around this ring the whole time, and you just kind of, you can pull it out now and get to the bottom where the seals are. There it is. That's my old seal that I put in there. Well, O-ring. In order to put the seal in, the directions say you have to use a drill to weaken the dimples on the top part of the hydraulic tube and take the top off so you can slide the seal under it. Using the seal was my first choice to do this job, but I ended up going with the O-ring because it was a lot simpler and it worked great after all. I did get new drill bits, and I tried to get through to this part and add the actual seal. I feel like I need a more powerful drill. I'm using a battery drill, and this to me feels like it definitely needs a little bit more power. It's doing a little something, but it's definitely not making progress. What I'm noticing is this O-ring is a lot better. Well, I think it's going to be a lot better than the one that I used before. It does feel like it's a little bit thicker, which I knew that going in when I bought those other O-rings, but I thought I'd try them. So if those gave me a very small leak, there's a pretty good chance that this is not going to give me any leak. I'm going to go ahead and go with this option for now, and if it fails, or if I just get a wild hair at some point, I might just open it back up and put that other seal on there. For now, I'm going to go with the O-ring that they sent me. To do that, it's a lot easier. You don't have to open this end. Just get the O-ring out. Looks like that's the hard part of this, huh? Alright. So the O-ring, and I got a little bit of fluid in here that I'm just gonna get here to get things a little bit loosened up. I'm gonna have to clean the car later anyway. So yeah, just you can kind of force the O-ring right around here, and it will go back to being the size it was. I think it says in the instructions to let it sit for a few minutes just to be sure. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. They seem to know what they're talking about, so I don't want to skip a step and get a leak. Alright, going to put this thing back together, and hopefully it'll all be good. Putting the C-ring back where it belongs, because it's going to be holding it down. This part, you just push it in, You push the O-ring in. This already feels a lot tighter than what I had before. Okay, that's better. So yeah, push on the back a little bit and then this part. It's in. Just got to tighten it up. We'll force this part to the back first. See if you can see that. Align the holes. If it gets this close and you're not able to get through, you can always use a little screwdriver to align it up. Hopefully you can see this. And then the longer one went here. There it is. Then we just grab the shorter one. I should have probably put these in a better place. You may want to do that. Push this a bit. I think this needs to turn. There we go. And again, with this one, I think it's necessary to use a small screwdriver to align it first before we put everything together. So these guys, and then this guy comes on top. There we go. It's almost in. If it gets stuck like this, use a little screwdriver to redo the hole. All lined up, and it's pretty much there. I see it. There it goes. It's in. So now that they're both in, we're gonna put the locks on. I'm gonna use my hand first, that way I don't drop it. It's in place. Just push it a little bit further and it clicks in. I think you can hear that. Again, this one. Put it in and lock it. Alright, I think that's the hard part. Now we're going to put the screws back into place and give this thing a try. Align these up, make sure it's ready to be tightened. Oh, wrong way. Don't tighten all the way at first. Just kind of make sure that everything sits correctly. This one should already be in place because of the other two. And then you can go ahead and tighten them up. Hydraulic fluid in the trunk. Take this out. And right underneath this side here on the left. So the hydraulic fluid is supposed to be between these two lines. You can see I have a little bit over the first line. And in order to add some to it, I'll go ahead and add some to show you guys actually. This is the hydraulic fluid. I got this from the dealer. You can also buy it on Amazon, I've seen. So to do this, you're gonna remove this top screw. There might be some pressure. All right, there we go. You loosen that and get it out the way. And as you can see, it's a very small hole. So I went ahead and bought this from the same website where I got the seal from. It's a very handy tool. Put it on and you grab, I'm gonna grab a little bit here because mine does not, it's not that bad. It's a little bit above the first line, and then you just slowly put it in, and I'm gonna go ahead and give it more. Looks like it's coming out a bit. I might have it in. I think it might be pressurized because I just used it. Put this back on. And tighten it. Like to tighten it a little bit more. And that's good. We are good to go. So I'm not gonna say if it's leaking or not right away, but if I don't see it right away, we'll still give it a few days. So far, I don't see a leak. Back up. So it is looking like it's fine. With the other one, I could see a leak right away. But I will go ahead and give this a few days, or just kind of take it up and down a few more times before I post anything. That way I can be sure that it's not leaking. I'll put all the links where to get all the stuff and in the description. Thanks for watching.